let's write a program to print the full pyramid pattern of numbers. So the pattern will look something like this: 1 2 2 2 3 3 3 3, and it goes on how many ever rows that we input, right? So let me get into the program. Hash include stdio.h int main. Now let's prompt the user to input the number of rows. So printf enter the number of rows. Before that, I'll need to declare my variable int rows. Now I'll use my scanf function, %d ampersand rows. Alright, now my first for loop, that is the outer for loop, will be used for printing the rows or creating the rows. So let me say outer for loop to print, or let me say outer for loop to create rows, right? So for int I equals 1, I less than equal to rows less than equal to rows I plus plus. My first inner for loop 1 is to print blank spaces. Okay, so for int j equals 1, j lesser than or equal to rows minus I. So if there are 5 rows, we will print 4 blank spaces before we print the number itself. So j less than equal to rows minus I, j plus plus, printf a blank space. Okay, next my inner for loop 2 is to print the number. For int k equals 1, k less than or equal to 2i minus 1, because in the first row we will have one number itself. In the second row we will have 3, so that is 4 minus 3, 2 into 2 minus 1, and similarly for the other rows as well. K plus plus, printf %d I, and final step will be return 0. Let me save and run this code. Enter the number of rows. I will say 5. Oops, we have not printed the new line character. So after every column we have to say printf \n. So this is my escape sequence. Save and run the code. Enter the number of rows. Number of rows are 5, and there you go. If you want this to look more spacious, here in the blank space for loop I will print the double of number of spaces, and in the sense 2 times 2 into rows minus I, and here next to my format specifier I will simply include a space. So now let me save and run the code. Enter the number of rows, I will say 5, and this is my pyramid, number pyramid.